Carla Yeager, and this is my presentation on the Reconstruction era. So what was the Reconstruction era? The Reconstruction era was a period of time after the Civil War. It started in 1863 and ended in 1877. In 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. So in this picture here is basically showing you how black families were happy because they didn't have to go through slavery anymore. So the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment was ratified on December 6, 1865. The 13th Amendment made slavery illegal in most cases, and the 13th Amendment says in Section 1, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for crime wherefore the party shall have been duly convicted shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. And in Section 2 it says Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So the 14th Amendment. So the 14th Amendment was adopted to the Constitution on July 9, 1868. The 14th Amendment gave people that are born in the United States citizenship. It also gave people the right to due process. It gave protection and equal under the law. So in the 14th Amendment it says, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. So the 15th Amendment. The 15th Amendment was added to the Constitution on February 3, 1870. The 15th Amendment guaranteed all citizens the right to vote. It did not matter about the race, color, or previous conditions of the servitude. It gave former slaves the right to vote as well. So in the 15th Amendment it says in Section 1, the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. In Section 2, the Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So some background information on the Reconstruction era. So the background information is President Lincoln wanted to have the country civil after the Civil War. He did that with the Emancipation Proclamation, and which led to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. So in this picture here is basically showing you how slaves broke free from slavery. So after President Lincoln, so Andrew Johnson became the new president after Lincoln was assassinated. Johnson from the South, he had his different ideas about how to rebuild this country. He vetoed the Civil Rights Act of 1866, and the Congress overrode the veto. This is the first time that has ever happened. So after the Civil Rights Act. So after the Civil Rights Act was passed, because of the Supreme Court's Dred Scott decision that said that former slaves could never be citizens of the United States, the 14th Amendment was passed, giving all people born in the United States citizenship. And this picture here is a picture of Dred Scott. So radical Reconstruction. So in 1868, Ulysses S. Grant was elected president. He had been the commanding general to the Union Army during the Civil War, and he split the South into 5 military districts to create new governments. So the 5 military districts. So the 5 military districts were set up by President Grant using the Reconstruction era of 1867. So the 5 military districts included Virginia, North and South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, Arkansas, Mississippi, Texas, and Louisiana. So the end of radical Reconstruction. So in 1873, there was an economic recession, causing the government to not have enough money to continue the expenses of the Reconstruction through the South. Because of the Corporation of Grant administration, Rutherford B. Hayes was elected President of the United States in a disputed election with Samuel J. Tilden. So the Compromise of 1877. Because of the Compromise of 1877, the Republicans gave the Southern Democrats jurisdiction in the South. Hayes withdrew the last federal troops of the South and the Republican government collapsed. Over the next 30 years, the civil rights promised during the Reconstruction broke down under white rule in the South. So in conclusion, although the Reconstruction was not a huge success, it did still have some very good outcomes, including the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment. Thank you.